We are live. Welcome, Katarina.
You?
So we are on, this is the eighth actually, the eighth call in this amazing series, What Do Bodies Know? And I have a very special guest on with me, Katarina Wallentin, and we're going to be, well, just continuing on our conversation about bodies. So welcome again, Kat.
Thank you.
So I wanted to start with a question actually, because in Dane's call, which was the first in the series, he asked us to ask a question about to our bodies, and that was, "What gift is your body that you haven't acknowledged?" So I kind of want to unpack that question a little bit because for me, there's two words that pop: gift and acknowledge.
Hmm.
And yeah, so what do you know with that?
Well, it's interesting because our bodies, I mean, they are such gift. And when we acknowledge the gift they are, it's probably not just one. It's like a continuous process of acknowledging the gift that our bodies are. And when we acknowledge it, it can exponentialize. So I love that question. And I've been looking at, you know, our bodies so listen to us all the time. Like they listen to everything we think that we say, that we say out loud, but also that we think in our head, and they actually respond in all kind like so if you think, I'm really weak, your body goes, I'm really weak, you know.
Yeah.
That's so we have that, but then our bodies also continuously talk to us all the time. Like all the different things that we experience in our bodies is basically the body's way of talking to us. It can be anything from like you get really excited and you have this joy, like the energy of joy. And so that's the way your body, your senses, like all your senses is your body, all the physical senses is your body. So they talk to you, they tell you, oh yeah, want to do more of this. Like if you get super happy when you're dancing, it's your body saying, dance. That could be something for us. That could be something that we could do more of. So that gift of actually having a best friend, that's what I've been acknowledging the last few years more and more, that my body has been with me since I was born. It's like it's the way I experience living here on earth is through my body, through my senses. And so I really like having a best friend that I continuously whisper with, communicate with, have an interaction with, which we do. Maybe not through, the cognitive way of the words, but the way we signal each other. I signal my body too all the time with my thoughts, with the way I move, what I choose, with every single choice. I am signaling and communicating with my body. So lately, here in Stockholm and all of Europe, actually, it's been snowing a lot. It's like pouring down snow. And over the years, shoveling snow has not been my favorite thing. And look, it's right? It has not been my favorite thing. My body, I don't really know actually, because it's been a very strong thing. This, like, I don't like shoveling snow. And I live in a house that has a long stair and I have to shovel a lot of snow. So this year I was like, okay, what if shoveling snow can be really fun? And what if shoveling snow actually is one of the most amazing like ways of moving your body in the winter because you get to go outside and you get to actually have all this beautiful white snow reflect, onto your eyes and into your face. So I've been having fun shoveling snow. And what's happened then is that my body hasn't gotten at all tired. Even though I've been shoveling snow 3 times a day, it's like
Yeah.
a quite heavy thing. But my body somehow, when you're working together with your body and you're really acknowledging that, we're doing this together, there are so many resources that are already there that you're basically asking for and they're showing up. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I answered your question, but that's what came
Yeah,
out.
and I love that example of what you just said about the snow because it sounds like that you're basically being in communion with you and your body in what your being is asking for and in what you're choosing as
Mm,
well. I think that's one of the things that we don't be with our bodies is in communion.
mm.
We're not listening in the sense. So can you maybe talk more about the communion?
Well, so let me continue with the snow just because it's an
Yeah, I love it.
interesting thing. So with this like newfound, I'm choosing to enjoy shoveling snow. I've been seeing the snow different. I've been noticing like the snow in a different way because before when it snowed a lot, since I had an aversion against shoveling snow, I would see the snow, but it would come with this like kind of like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go out and shovel snow, right? So it came with a negative connotation, even though it was beautiful. But I'm seeing, perceiving, receiving the beauty in a whole different way, and I've been playing with it way more. So several times I've been like laying down doing snow angels and like feel, so then you feel the ground, your body is, feeling. So it's feeling the ground, it's feeling the cold from the snow, you're moving in the snow, and then laying up and allowing the snowflakes to fall on your face, like little tiny wet, cold kisses on your face. And even like having your eyes open so that they fall down and you watch every single snowflake, like the different sizes and little crystals in it. And then suddenly, this experience of being out in the snow or shoveling snow is now magical. Like now, and then there's not just a communion, like you're saying, with my body, it's actually a different communion with nature,
with
with the
everything.
planet, and like even up in the sky. So
Mm.
this like really what this thing by acknowledging the gift of this kind of then creates an effect, like it exponentializes that effect. And this my what I really get so amazed by this is our choice. Like
Yeah.
our choice is so potent, and our choice what we be with our bodies every day is the most potent tool we have with our bodies.
Mm.
How and what we be with them every day.
Yeah, I love it. So I just want to go back a little bit to kind of when you first started to play with all of the energies with your body and started, because I know you've been also well, you're a body whisperer,
Mm,
and part of helping Dain here create that body whispering book. But for somebody who hasn't had that sort of connection, I suppose, with their bodies before, where
mm.
can they start to open up to kind of hearing what the body, what
Yeah.
questions do they ask? Where could they even begin with that?
Well, so before I started to use the access, well, actually, before I started to kind of like journey inwards, I was very not body focused. I mean, I enjoyed my body and I did things with my body, but it was very mind focused. My mind was really the most important part of me. And this is where everything, it's like my life was lived here. The body was just something that transported my life from one place to another. It didn't mean that I didn't enjoy doing things with my body, but there wasn't really a like a connection. There wasn't a communion in that way. It was like my body wasn't as important as what I was thinking or like feeling, experiencing. So when I started to use the access tools, and especially for me, what was a big awakening was the energetic part of access. So when I had my first energetic synthesis of being session with Dain, it opened up this whole new universe for me to perceive, receive, be in the world from that session. It really turned my whole, like, I didn't even know any of that existed. It was like,
Yeah.
what? Like, it's like you got and you found a whole new door to a different life that you'd never seen before. And so once that entry point was kind of opened, I think that my explorations with my body started a lot from that energy part. Like I started to explore my body from the energetic of everything because I could perceive the energy in my body. So if I were brand new, if I'm listening to this and I really, want to start exploring body whispering, what if one of the first steps is to really acknowledge that your body is energy and your body, like science talks about that too. Everything is energy, and your body is really just energy solidified temporarily into this form. So are you. You, the being, soul, whatever you call yourself, your energy, right? So it's energy combined with energy that you've been given to experience life here on the planet. So just by like shifting from that this is this finite, solid thing and start to experience your body as energetic, then it starts also making more sense, if we can say that, to have conversations with your body. Because if it is energy, if it's not like this matter only based thing, if it is energy in space, your body, then you, by having conversations, by starting to actually listen to your body, starting to finding out how your body is communicating with you, you will find that the energies actually change your body, you in your body, how you be with your body. So I would actually, when it comes to body whispering, I would start talking to your body. And in the beginning, sometimes I talk out loud to my body, like, hey, you and me, body. It would be something going on. And I was like, okay, hey, body, we can do this. Like, I tend to speak to my body in we form, which sounds as if we're separate, but it's not really that. It's just the inclusion part that I'm after. And by that, asking, okay, body, what would it take? Using this like open questions where you don't necessarily have an answer. A lot of time we learn to talk to our bodies as if they're less intelligent than we are. Like again, it sounds like we're too different. But say your mind, you think your mind because it's your thinker, that your mind, your thinker has all the answers for how your body will become whatever you decided to need to be, like thinner, faster, younger looking, like all of those things, whatever you decided, or healthier if you have things going on. But what if that's not the way to get there? What if your body knows much more about what it actually requires? So by not making yourself superior to your body and remembering that the body's energy, everything is energy moving, you can actually start having this conversation as if your body is your best friend, which it really is. Your body is your best friend. It's the one thing in this world that always wishes you well. Your
And
body
it's
will
one thing we
always wish
forget.
you well. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
sorry.
one thing we tend to forget is with us 24/7,
Yeah.
because we're just thinking with our minds and we're forgetting that we do have this whole component that is our best friend.
It's with us all the time. It knows us really well
Mm.
because it's been with us since we were born. So I would say starting like really remembering that you and your body are best friends, which means that if you treat it like a best friend, it will start communicating with you in a different way. You can even ask your body, okay, I get that there's something you're trying, you'd like me to notice, you like me, like my attention on. Could you convey this in a different way to me? Could you show me it in a different way? Sometimes it's so simple, like you ask your body something, and then you look at a newspaper and there's an article about something, like, I don't know, a weight move or, something, some food that your body really desires, but something is there and your body's literally pointing you to it by directing your sight there. So it all goes together with this, like, if everything is energy, then also all these energies work together once you start interacting and engaging with them.
I love it. So we've spoken a little bit now about talking to your bodies and listening to your body.
Mm,
What about touch? Because I love it when you talk about touch with your body because, well, I know that you also you teach art of touch classes.
mm.
But what effect does that have? Let's explore that a little bit because I love that.
Yeah, and touches so many different things too. You have, I mean, you and I can be touched by each other on the Zoom. Like we can be touched by each other's bodies actually, and each other's presence and each other's beings. So, and what I would say is that I think that we're here to be touched in all kinds of different ways and to touch the world in different ways. So touch is such a big thing. And in my classes, we talk a lot about how touch can be both physical, like tactile touch, where other people, you touch your body, or you can be touched. Physical touch can also be you hugging a tree. That's a physical touch, is you touching another kind of entity in the world. And then the touch can be energetic, because we have not only our physical body, we also have energetic bodies all around us, subtle bodies, we call them in Access. And I mean, if you're on here, we could do this. I've done this before, this little experiment where you touch your body, not so you could touch your arm, and you can kind of like squeeze it a little bit first. So that's like a very, like if you got a massage, that would be a tactile touch, like a physical touch. And then you can touch it really softly, which actually starts a lot of completely different reaction in your body than the first one. Like this particular one, it starts a lot of relaxing, different kinds of hormones that get released when you touch yourself softly. Like there's different energies that come up within us when we touch ourselves softly. And then touch right above. You just go like a little bit above. So you're not touching now. I'm so sorry. It's like a lot of patterns here, but like maybe you're 2, 3 centimeters above. And then you go down and you just go quite slow, because then you'll notice it more. But now you're actually touching your energetic bodies. And for some people, this last way of touching is more intense than the other ones, because the other ways of touching, it's so like it's so concrete, it's so solid that only the I don't even, it's very different for different people, but they don't even get the whole symphony of the different energies. They don't take off. But when you touch on the energetic level, it gets more intense, because you actually activate a whole different part of your bodies, because your subtle bodies now are a part of it as well. And this way of interacting, like allowing yourself to be touched by people in a physical and an energetic way, or allowing yourself to touch bodies that way, it it expands, I would say it expands the way you be in the world. It expands the experience you have of the world, because it's kind of like expanding ourselves in a different way when we're starting to really explore touch. So often touch is only okay in appropriate boxes. Like we were only allowed to touch, our lover, our pets, our children to a certain age, by the way, then it gets a little iffy again. So this of actually what in Access we also look, you do body processes. You put your hands on somebody you may never have met before. Even if it's just here, like a lot of times this is a very common position in body processes, but you're allowed to actually touch someone else. You're allowed to contribute to them through their body. You're allowed to contribute energy to them. And in doing that, you create this simultaneity of gifting and receiving. So for me, touch is one of the most dynamic ways of contributing, of receiving, and of receiving information. A hug can give you a whole download
Yeah. Well,
of and sorry, just it was a whole download of information about what's going on for that person in that moment, and you and the person and all of it. Yeah. What did you want to ask?
I was going to say it was really interesting because when you were doing this and I was obviously doing it with you, I became obviously very present with my body.
Mhm.
When you're consciously doing something like an exercise, or you're consciously touching your body in a certain way, I suddenly became very aware of the chair that I was sitting in and how that was feeling. I became very aware that my toes are a little cold because it's freezing here, whereas I hadn't kind of noticed that so much before. So
Oh, I love
it,
that point. And it's such a good point. It's one of the easiest ways to get present with yourself is actually to use your body and to touch it. So right now, you can like feel your feet on the floor. There they are. You can kind of pull them forth and back a little bit. So so there's like an action,
yeah.
which is then a different kind of pressure, different, you're feeling the texture depending on what you have. So there's your feet on the floor, and under your feet is the earth. And so you're feeling your feet on the floor and your floor against your feet. And then you put your hands somewhere else on your body, maybe on your stomach in one hand. And start. So then you have your hand. You can do again like a little movement, just hello. And you feel your stomach in your hand in your stomach, and like just that exchange of here you are. And again, feet on the floor, hand on your stomach, and then you put your last hand. Usually we only have two. Your last hand you put somewhere else. So I put it just over my chest, and again, like hand on chest, chest in hand. And then perceive and feel all those three spots. So your feet on the floor, you can close your eyes because when you take one sense away, you also become more present with the other senses. So when you close your eyes, it's a way of, okay, feet on the floor, hand on my stomach, another hand there. And then you take a deep breath, which also touches your lungs with the air that goes into your lungs. So,
It's very relaxing. My body has just gone, whew, even more, you know.
you can start, see if you hear, like, can perceive your heart beating, and you have like a fifth point.
Mm,
And it's so good because one thing that happens is when we're on Zoom, for example, we tend to forget about our bodies.
mm,
In a different, not like we see our, we see see ourselves on the Zoom, but it is a very, very different way of interacting because you're aware of the energies, you are aware of the body being there, but you're not with the body. So your body is not as aware of it as it would be if you and I were sitting across from each other in a room. So
yeah.
sometimes we like forget it. So I think you just tap back in.
Yeah, and also you're much more, and you become aware of everyone else on the Zoom and what's going on for them and their bodies too. So
Yeah.
just being with your body brings you back to you and what's going on for you.
And all bodies. That was also a brilliant point again, because all the bodies communicate all the time. So on the Zoom, if your toes are freezing, once you said that, my toes were cold too. And so maybe it was my toes that were cold that you
Yeah.
were. So because our bodies communicate continuously, they don't have this. I'm just supposed to be aware of my body. Our bodies are aware of bodies around us all the time. That's why we know when we want to put a hand on someone, because we do know, like, if somebody needs that, or we know often if somebody needs a hug, for example. But we also know if somebody is tired. We don't only read that in the face, we perceive it from their body, and it can come from zillions of clues. It can come from them, being hunched over, but it also comes from the energy they're being. Like, we know when something is going on for someone. We know when somebody is sad. We know when they're happy. We know from the moment they come in the room, and even sometimes even before. We just know. And all of that is not just from here. It's from all the different clues and energetic awarenesses we get through our whole body.
Wow. So yeah, my body is so relaxed and it's so yummy right now. You did touch upon the body processes. I just wanted to talk a little bit about those. Your experience with the body processes and, what has changed for you, your body, your life since you started doing, working on your body with those body processes.
Well, I think one of the like most amazing part of the access body processes is that they empower people to
Mhm.
know that they can gift and receive. And that is such a, like, we go through life and we learn that, you know, only certain people can actually, I don't know if we should call it heal, but contribute to bodies. So it's such an empowering thing to get to know and to experience the fact that you can contribute to a body by putting your hands on them and by calling upon the energies that we call upon. It sounds a little significant, but we call upon specific energies, and those energies are different. So every body process you run, you're you do some you call on a different energy, and that in itself is empowering because then you're starting to become aware of your energetic capacities. So for me, one of the things that the body processes have changed, they are taking me out of my logical
Mm.
problem solution focused mind that always, especially in the even many years into access, when something was wrong with my body, wrong in my body, when something was going on with my body, when my body had something up, I tended to try to find a solution, like to solve it, to fix it. And what the
Mm.
body processes has shown me is that so often that is my body talking to me. It's showing me something that it will like to have different or something that's going on with it. And it will show me what it requires. But the body processes has allowed me to really relax in that change is energetic and that we can change more than we could ever imagine by what we be with our bodies. So the body processes are this magical thing that isn't is more about changing the embodiment
Mm.
of how we show up in the world than fixing anything. It's really about, okay, if you and me body, if we're best friends, we're going through life, what if we could turn our energetic capacities of creation up? And what if these body processes are a way of actually receiving that for us, but also contribute that to other people?
Cool.
What if we're so
Yeah.
yeah, so magic. I guess they show me magic and
Yeah.
they really empowered me to know that I have capacities that I never ever thought I had
So,
before.
so can you run body processes on yourself?
Hmm.
Just putting that out there. So I get there's a question in that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you can run body processes on yourself. You can even run bars on yourself.
mm,
So if you down the access bars, it's just not as efficient as running it, having somebody else run it. And that's really because bodies love to be touched, for one. So they actually love receiving from other bodies. And when you run a body process or you run bars, you don't only get you and your body and the energies and mysteries that you're aware of, it creates a synthesis with this other body and the energies this other body and being are aware of. So you double or exponentialize what is possible in the session by working with somebody else, by working with another being and another body. And it is a it's a simultaneous process. So if you gift, you also receive. But I think the main thing is looking at it. Yes, you can work on yourself, but then you only have your own energetic awareness and beings, awareness. But if you add another person, you're actually adding a whole other universe. And if you go to a class, all the different bodies in that class actually contribute to each other continuously. And it gets exponentialized because they're all, in each of the little couples working on each other, there's a whole new thing synthesized with them. And then those are synthesized with all the other bodies and energies in the room. So it becomes something that is truly, I would say, beyond what is supposed to be possible here.
so do you have like a favorite body process or a body process that you go to, like your go-to body process that you can just let people know about?
Um, one of my favorite ones is MTVSS, but I think that's a bit complex. But one body process I do run a lot that we could share here is restoration of communion with Earth, if no
Yeah.
one else has shared that.
I've
Okay,
done
then we'll
that.
do it. So
Yeah.
one of the simplest body processes that anybody can do, and you can do it now, even if you haven't been to a body class or anything like that, is called restoration of the communion with Earth. And what you do is like you have somebody lay down, they can lay on their back, and you basically put your hands on the soles of their feet. If you can, ask them to take their socks off. Well, shoes, obviously, but socks as well, so that you can be skin against skin because being skin against skin just creates even more of that energetic exchange that is possible. So you put your hands on their feet and you just ask, restoration of communion with earth, please run. And then you sit there for maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And it's one of the most relaxing, one of the most nurturing, beautiful processes there is. And it's also something you can do. You're sitting with your mom or your dad in the sofa and you're watching TV and you'd like to contribute to them, but you don't really know how. Or so ask them if you can hold their feet. It's one of those ways where you can just contribute energy to them. And this is a beautiful process that really contributes to everyone and is very soft and subtle and works in any situation. So that would be my suggestion. And you can run it on yourself, but it's a little tricky to hold your feet, for a longer time period.
Exactly. Oh, well, thank you so much, Katarina, for coming on and sharing that. I want to finish real quickly with the question that I started with that you can
Yeah.
ask. What gift is your body that you haven't acknowledged? So
Mm,
that was our starting point for today's conversation. And I just want to say thank you again. Beautiful conversation, Katarina.
thank you so much. And I think that's a question we should continue to ask every day. Thank you so much,
Amazing.
Laura.
Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you on the next conversation. And I forget what day it is, but it's coming in the next 6 days. I'll say that. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.